Mr. Denham is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, let me say on record that the ranking member and I work very closely together on a variety of different issues, especially as they pertain to California. But on this issue, the arrogance to trivialize such a critical issue that affects so many people in the state of California and around the country, I think is disrespectful to the people in Porterville. I mean, this administration continues to talk about environmental and social justice, yet where's the social justice to large Hispanic communities in the Central Valley like Porterville that are now forced to use government showers that are brought in, or water that is now being trucked in? Where's the social justice of 34% going to back up to 50% unemployment in large Hispanic areas like Mendota? Areas that Mr. Costa represents over in Los Banos. This is not an ideological battle. This is not an election season battle. This is a battle of basic necessities of life. This is a battle of whether or not they're going to have food or whether we're going to truck it in from other countries. This is not an issue to be trivialized. On election season, we have 2-year terms. Every year is an election year. Every year is an election season. Every year we need to continue to bring up bills and amendments to address this important issue. On the environmental justice side, I plant trees. And those trees actually clean the carbon out of the air. If we're going to talk about climate change, shouldn't we be considering the trees that we plant? Shouldn't we actually be talking about the cleanest energy there is of hydro? But yet in the climate change issue, the social and environmental justice issue does not consider hydraulic energy. So I've only got a couple minutes to ask a couple of questions. I hope we'll have a second round because I know you've got more and so do I. But obviously this is an issue that goes across party lines and should be addressed by Californians and Americans to address a real social injustice and a real environmental injustice. We can't just talk about it or ship in supplies because we're afraid to address this on such a huge magnitude issue. You know, one of the focuses of this hearing has been whether reducing the Delta pumps has been helpful to endangered species. I think that's debatable. I think we ought to continue to debate it, and we ought to continue to come up with sound science. But yet this subcommittee 2 weeks ago talked about non-native striped bass, predation, how big of an impact that has to the overall fish population. Here on one hand, we're trying to address the threatened and endangered species, yet we have a doubling goal on non-native predator fish. So the predator fish that are eating 98%, Mr. Poole talks about 97% of the salmon that don't make it out to the ocean, but yet 98% of them, by the administration's own numbers, by NOAA's numbers, 98% of those get eaten by the predator fish that under CVPIA, we're supposed to double. So we're going to double the amount of fish that are eating the endangered species. It would seem like the administration's goal is to kill the endangered species that we're spending millions and millions of dollars and millions of acre-feet of water affecting all of California at a time of a 5th-year drought. I would ask specifically, controlling predation seems like the easiest of fixes, and certainly, if you want to save the endangered species, which certainly seem to be a easy fix to fish or address the predator fish population, I would ask each of you for a very, very brief answer on whether you think predation is something that can help to solve this overall, starting with Mr. Barbary.
I can't find much to disagree with your comment. Obviously, these predators are killing what we're supposed to be protecting, so it's a two-edged sword, so I concur with you.
Thank you. Mr. Bettner?
I would agree as well. I mean, we have seen evidence of predation moving further up into the Sacramento River system, and it's been a significant issue, especially with winter run that are holding upstream in the river longer. The longer they sit upstream before they move out, they're going to get predated on, so I totally agree.
Thank you. Mr. Poole?
I would agree predation is a huge, huge problem, and it needs dealing with. We have developed 39 engineering projects that will deal with predation. There's massive predation in the Delta that can be taken care of with projects, and we can't get those projects moving. So I agree with you. We need to do the things that we have identified.
Thank you, Mr. Murillo.
Yeah, I would also agree that predation is one of the stressors for the endangered species.
Thank you. Mr. Birmingham. There's unanimity here. Thank you. Well, it's nice that we can all agree on one thing. I actually have a bill that has just been introduced. I'd love to have all of your support on it.